Welcome to another AutoFlex Connect tutorial video. Today I'm going to be going over how to set the settings for a normal staged ventilation group. I am logged in and on my Room 2 homepage. So first we're going to start off by setting our group set point. So we want to set our master set point first for the entire group, and then we're going to go into all the individual equipment and set their individual set points. The master set point can be used if we would adjust the master set point. It is going to adjust all of the individual set points of all of the equipment in that group, up or down, however much you adjust the master set point. And so that's a quick shortcut way of adjusting your overall behavior. So for now, I'm going to leave our target master set point at 68 degrees. Then I am going to start with the duty cycle fan. So here we will hit the gear icon to go into the settings menu. This guy, I'm going to have a set point of 60 degrees and a on duration of 60 seconds and a off duration, I'm going to put it to 840. So this is basically just a fan to help make sure the air in the barn is circulating. So it's going to be on for a minute, off for 14 minutes. So basically 1 out of every 15 minutes it's going to be running and just helping make sure that the air in the barn is mixed. We are then going to, and that's as long as the temperature is above the 60 degrees. So that should be basically all the time. We will save those settings. And then let's take a look at our variable fans. So we're going to set up variable 1 and variable 2 actually to be the same. So these guys, we will go into settings. So we're going to set our idle speed up to 40%, and then that is going to start idling at 65 degrees. At 70 degrees, so it'll idle between 65 and 70 degrees, and then between 70 and 75 degrees, it is going to be ramping up from 40% all the way up to 100%. It'll reach 100% at 75 degrees, and if the temperature still keeps rising, it'll stay at 100%. Let's go ahead and save that. And then we will quickly go into number 2 and give it the same settings. So 40, idling at 65, set point of 70, differential of 75. Saved. All right. And then our third variable fan is going to be slightly different. We're going to set it so we're going to offset it. If the temperature is still rising, it'll come on a little bit later. So this one, rather than starting idling at 65, we're going to set it for 70, and then we'll do 75 and 80. So this one is just offset by 5 degrees so that we're not turning on all of our fans all at once and just really dropping the temperature too fast. We're offsetting them a little bit. So this guy, save those settings. Then I will go through my 3 fixed stage fans. Same thing for these guys' settings. We want them to be not all coming on all at once, so I'm going to set the set point at 75. And then we're going to go to 77 with the next one. And then the final one will be 80. So at 80 degrees, we're going to have all of our 3 fixed stages and our 3 variable stages all going full speed. Then the final 2 pieces we need to look at are our curtains, our 2 different styles of curtains. So first I'm going to go with this actuator controlled one that didn't have feedback. That's how we configured it. So for this one, I'm going to give it a set point of 70 degrees and an idle band of 2 degrees. So basically, if the temperature is between 68 degrees and 72 degrees, the curtain is going to stay exactly where it's at. If the temperature is too cold, if it's below 68 degrees, then it is going to close for the closed duration. And so for that, I'm actually going to adjust this down. It'll close for 10 seconds, and then it'll wait 3 minutes, so 180 seconds. It'll wait 3 minutes, and then it'll look at the temperature again. If the temperature is still too cold, it's going to close for another 10 seconds, wait 3 minutes, take a look at the temperature. If it's then within the idle band, 68 to 72 degrees, then it's going to be happy. It's going to do nothing. If it gets too warm, I'm going to set this for a 10-second run duration on open, and then when we're opening, we're going to give it a little bit more time. So we don't want to open it too much too fast and cool things off too quickly. So we're going to wait a full 5 minutes before we read the temperature again, and then see if we need to open up the curtains more. And also note how we have this. The curtain will open before our fans really kick in, and that's so that we can kind of have that passive cooling starting, and if that's not enough, then we start adding in our fans, adding in some active cooling to layer on top of as the passive cooling. So as we open our curtains further, we allow in more air, it's more passive cooling, and then we also start ramping up our fans and giving more active cooling as well. The final piece of equipment is this air curtain. So for this one, we have the open and closed set points for all 3 blowers. And this group adjustment, if I put it up a couple, you'll see it's moving both of these set points, and it's actually moving, as you can see, the set points for all of our blowers. So that's a quick way of adjusting everything. For this one, let's see here. I'm gonna do 70 and 68, and then I'll do 72 and 70. And 74 and 72. So at 70 degrees, then this one's going to open up, start allowing in fresh air. If it hits 72 degrees, we'll open up another one. And if it hits 74, it's going to open up all the way. We've got a 2-minute blower delay. Let's actually just bump that up maybe to 3 minutes. So that looks good. Before I end, I will just go over these air curtains have a few bonus options down on the bottom here. We have the option to enable de-icing, and this is basically, if you would enable it, If the temperature is lower than the start temperature, which will be measured by the outdoor sensor, then de-icing will activate and will occur. And then if that outdoor temperature is above the stop temperature, then de-icing will not occur. So it's not calling for you to open up your air curtains to cool off your barn, but you want to cycle them open and close to stop them from icing up. You can read more about it in the question mark, but basically it'll cycle through each of your 3 different blower curtains, deflating and then inflating them to prevent icing. Same sort of idea with our air curtain minimum ventilation. So this is going to cycle through. It'll give you a minimum amount of ventilation, again, even if it is too cold. You do have the option of a low temperature cutoff where you can say, no, actually, it's too cold outside. I don't want to allow that minimum ventilation to happen. But otherwise, this is basically a override of the normal set points, where it will open up and give you that minimum amount of ventilation that you want. Head into the help screen to get a full detailed explanation of how that works. And then finally, we have the option for air curtain drying. So if you're in a very hot and humid climate, then if your air curtains are just collapsed and sitting together, then you might have a lot of condensation and possibly mold growth there, which you really don't want. And so even if it's too hot, you can enable air curtain drying, even if it's consistently so hot that they will never inflate. You can enable air curtain drying so that one by one they will inflate for that drying time, give them a chance to dry off that condensation, and then they'll deflate, and they'll do each one of those, giving them an opportunity to dry off. And as well, this one, like I say, there is a more complete explanation on that in the help. So for now, I will just leave those disabled for this control, but we set our settings, and we are now good to go. So that is an overview of a few of the different pieces of equipment and how you would set up the settings for them on a normal staged ventilation cooling group.